Today, I'm going to be doing a rotisserie chicken, and I'm going to be using a wet brine. But this is not just an ordinary wet brine. I'm going to be using a beer, a Blue Moon to be exact, and I'm going to be packing in a lot of flavor. I know beer can chicken is very popular among the grilling community, but it really doesn't add any beer flavor to your chicken. If you want to pack in some beer flavor, use a good beer in a brine or a marinade. Now, if you've never used a beer for a brine before, well then stay tuned because I'm going to show you how to do it. Let's get this brine ready. Now it's important to get the salt to water ratio just right. I'm doing a 6% salt brine here. If you're watching your salt content, you might want to go 4%. Now using the metric system makes this calculation so much easier. I'm using 120 grams of salt for 2 liters of liquid, which gives us 6% ratio. Don't have a kitchen scale? Well, do 6 tablespoons of table salt. I find that a tablespoon of table salt weighs about 20 grams. I'm also adding 60 grams of brown sugar. I'm going to boil and dissolve it in 2 cups of water. I'll also be adding a tablespoon of pepper and a tablespoon of garlic. Bring this mixture to a boil. Let's add 2 cups of ice to our brining container, and then let's drop in our salt mixture. The ice is going to cool it down. Let's add 2 Blue Moons. Now you could use any beer that you like. I'm happy to use Blue Moon just because it's one of my favorite beers. But whatever you do, don't use a flavorless, cheap, light beer. Really try to get something that's packed with flavor. Add some water until I have exactly 2 liters of liquid, which completes our 6% brine. Add anything you want from here. The second time I did this brine, I added hot sauce and I added some sliced oranges. Now for those that are not familiar with Blue Moons and oranges go hand in hand, but I'm keeping this mixture pretty standard and I really want to taste the beer. Let's drop in our chicken. Now a good rule of thumb is to let it brine for an hour per pound. I'm going for 2 hours per pound. If you're going for longer than this, drop the salt percentage to about 4%. 10 hours later, after we rinse and dried, we are going with a very light dusting of this rub I made. It's pepper, garlic, and a package of the sazon. Its main purpose is for color, and it'll give it a touch of flavor for the skin. Once it's seasoned, let's truss this chicken. Since this chicken is going to be spinning around, it's really important that we tie down the legs and wings to keep them from flapping around and flying out of your grill. Let's load it up on the rotisserie rod and use a fork to secure it. Now let's start up our grill. I'm using lump, and I'm going to light a small chimney of it. I'm placing an additional unlit charcoal on these 2 baskets and pouring in the lit charcoal over the 2 baskets. The lit charcoal is going to slowly ignite the rest, and it's going to give us a nice roasting temperature of 325. Once the temperature has settled, let's drop in our rotisserie ring, our motor, and then place in our chicken. I'm spraying this chicken with some oil and give it another dusting of some all-purpose seasoning. Now before we cover, I'm placing in Thermopro's Temp Spike. I've been wanting a wireless thermometer for some rotisserie action since I got my rotisserie, so I'm very happy to have teamed up with Thermopro. No danger of twisted wires while the rotisserie spins, and I can keep an eye on the temperatures for the chicken and the ambient temperatures of the grill. If you're interested in purchasing this thermometer, I'm going to drop a link down in the description. Please use the promo code SJCooks20 for 20% off of your purchase. Now for whole chicken, it's usually a good idea to take out the chicken when the breast area reaches 160 as to not dry out the breast meat. However, since this is brined, I'm going to take it a little bit further, 170 to be exact. Now taking poultry past the 165 mark when you wet brine is an excellent idea that produce amazing results. And I actually learned this tip last year when I did a turkey video. Shout outs to Adam Ragusia for that wonderful tip. It definitely changed my turkey game for sure. It's been 90 minutes and the chicken breast has reached 170 and we're ready to remove. Looks amazing. Let's just quickly double check the temperature with an instant read thermometer. 169 in the breast area, perfect. And also it's temping 190 in the thighs. Let's call this chicken done. And now let's remove. First, some of that juicy breast. Okay, that breast meat is impressive so far. Check some of the dark meat. I mean, look at that. Wonderful color. It's some drumstick action here. This falls apart. Cooked really, really well. That's a good chicken. Okay, so that rotisserie chicken, that flavor really, really shined. If you've never done a brine with a beer before, give that a shot. Highly, highly encourage it. If you're going to try this, remember that salt to water ratio is really important. Now, if you can't get enough of rotisserie chicken or just chicken in general, make sure to check out this next recipe. It's called my pollo asado recipe, and it's absolutely delicious. There's a lot of ingredients involved, but I'm sure you can make it, and I'm telling you, it's really, really worth it. Check it out next.